Yeah, no, I've had more than a fair share of hybrid just working meetings.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This week's. Hi, Nancy. Where are you calling from, Nancy? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Denver.
Say again?
Denver.
Oh, Denver, okay. We're in Denver. We're in Rhino right now.
Yeah, I'm not downtown, but I'm closer to the tech center.
Cool. I live in Wash Park area. How'd you hear about it?
Well, I was looking up a number of different clubs, and I'd heard from a friend that you guys had a great club, and she said try several as a guest and see if it's like looking to start improving speaking.
Sweet. Well, I'm biased. I think this club's awesome, but I guess you can decide on that. Hi, Haley.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing great. Did you get a new camera at all?
What was that?
Did you get a new camera?
I did, yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, I noticed.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right. We're missing our Toastmasters though. Where is Crystal? She hasn't texted me. We'll give her a couple minutes. And then we have another guest. Is it Hashida? Help me with pronunciation.
You are correct. You are correct. Hasita. Yeah. Hi all.
Hashita, nice to meet you. How'd you hear about us?
Actually, one of my friends shared this link with me.
And you're in Denver?
No, actually, I'm in Michigan right now.
Okay, cool. Well, we accept people all around the country since we're also on Zoom too.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Seem to have lost my video. I'll keep working on it.
Okay. I mean, Crystal is in the waiting room. Get her in here. Awesome. Allie, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm just waiting for the day to end so I can head up to the mountains.
Okay.
Nice.
Hopefully this ending with Toastmaster is a high. And keep on climbing. Crystal, you're here.
Yes, hello. Sorry for being late.
No worries. Looks like we're missing Tim, who's our timer. But and he's an evaluator too. I can, let's see how we want to do rules for today. But let me start off asking, does Jared or Ellie want to do a roll at all? Yeah. Feel comfortable? Do you want to give the AHA counter? The what? AHA counter? So you count the ahs, so's, you knows, likes. Yep. You know. Okay. Awesome. Allie, if you wanted to be the grammarian, you can. If you just want to hang out, that's fine as well.
Can I just hang out? I'm at a coffee shop and I have a hard time hearing.
That's fine. Oh. I'm good. Let's see here. Haley, would you like to be timer?
Sure.
Let's do that. Oh, actually, we don't have Jerry here. That's just I just realized Jerry is not here, so we don't really need him as another.
Nick, I got an email from Jerry
Oh,
that
okay.
he's not able to make it today, and he
Okay.
hasn't been in the meeting for a while. So I think we're good if Tim's not here because he doesn't need to do evaluate Jerry.
Yes, correct. Okay, then we'll just do more table topics from it, and I'll evaluate Haley then.
Okay,
Cool.
shall we start?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, we are going to, I'm going to start with the roles, right? Introducing everyone who's taking role for the meeting. We have Nick for grammarian and word of the day.
Actually, Crystal, let's follow the agenda. And just
Okay,
It's the joke inspiration,
okay,
and then we'll go into guest greetings. Have all the guests say hello,
okay,
and then go into the tweet response question, and then into the role introductions.
okay, sounds good. So theme of the day, as you have all gotten the email, is love. Since Monday the 14th was Valentine's, I have chosen the theme as the love for today's meeting. And I don't have a joke, so I would like to share inspiration. This quote I heard from one of my colleagues, and some of you know that I work for Philips, and we have a number of different employee resource group, and we have a mental health champion group. And so this colleague, she shared this quote that was very inspirational. Everyone you meet is battling something you know nothing about. Be kind always. And I thought this was very inspirational because it is true. We don't know what each person's carrying that day or in life. So it is always a good idea to be kind regardless, always. And the roles introduction now, right?
Let's go into, do you have a tweet question for the group?
Yes, I do. Would you like that first? Okay. This question applies to everyone. I'd like for you to reflect. If you could go back to yourself during your kindergarten years, is that like 4, 5? I don't know, 4? And what would you tell yourself what love is? How about I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just for the guests so they know, this is our tweet response. So a quick 1 to 2 sentence response to the prompt question.
Thank you, Nick. So I'm going to ask Nick to go first to answer that question.
So what would I tell my 6-year self about love?
Yes.
I would tell myself, just focus on loving myself, which then will help you love others. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you. Haley?
Thanks, Crystal. I think I would tell myself that love is an action, so it's something you have to do, and it's how your parents and friends and teachers show up for you. So that's how you can observe yourself being loved and know, like, how you can know that you're loved.
Thank you. Ellie?
I think I would tell myself that love is very subjective and there are different forms of love. There isn't just one definition.
Okay, thank you. Let's do popcorn style. So please assign the next person to answer the question. Ellie, who would you pick?
Oh, okay, sorry. I will pick Hashita.
Thank you, Nancy. Love is for me, I think it's a feeling, a sweet feeling, what we can spread for the world as well as ourselves. I choose Nancy.
It's a very broad question. To tell my 6-year-old self, I would say love is something to be open to, be aware of, and it all starts from within and spreads out. And maybe someone from the table, the downtown speakers.
Sure. Let's see. Yeah, I would describe it as a feeling. It comes in many different ways, but you know, to always be open to it and don't be afraid to put yourself out there to feel it with someone else. I'll hand it to Nora.
Oh boy. It's tricky. Hi everyone, my name is Nora. I have to explain to myself, 5-year-old me, what love is. Probably say love is kindness, compassion, and a little bit of pain occasionally.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name's Jared. If I was talking to my 6-year-old self, similar to Nick, I would say love yourself and accept yourself. And I would also say that love is when you accept another person for who they are. And that's it. I'll pause for everybody.
Thank you. Okay, so we are ready to move on to the role introduction.
Actually, Crystal, let's have our guests, Nancy, Chris, and Hashida do an intro of themselves.
Okay, let's do an introduction of our guests. So, I'm sorry, I cannot see the name so well. Hashita, is that right?
Yes, you are correct.
Welcome, please introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, I'm Hasita, and actually, I'm joining to this Toastmasters Club from Michigan, Detroit, and I like to get some exposure in Toastmasters Club, online Toastmasters Club, and I think this is a more different club. It's a hybrid mode I can see here. The first time I joined into this kind of club, and I like to get that exposure as well, and that's my main intention to join this call, get the more exposure and get the process how it's going on here. Thank you for having me. Back to you.
Thank you. Yes, as most of us still work hybrid format or still work remotely, so Zoom is a very nice format to conduct meetings, because at least for me, it's 100% Zoom at work. So thank you, welcome. And who do we have as our next guest?
We have Nancy.
Nancy? Hello, Nancy. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nancy Walker, and I am investigating Toastmasters. This is my first guest attendance at any place. So I'm just, I was reading online to get the format and try to figure out the process. I'm looking to just improve general communication. I work in a business environment where everyone is extremely articulate and they're concise and they speak really well. And I would love to be able to improve my skills to be able to speak with confidence. So thank you for letting me attend, and I'm just very curious and ready to learn.
Thank you and welcome. And where are you located? Nancy?
I'm in Denver, but it's close to the Tech Center, the Denver Tech Center.
Okay, great. Thank you. Nick, do we have anyone else in the room?
Chris.
Okay.
Hey there.
Hello.
Chris Bernacki, moved to Denver in last May, looked into Toastmasters to improve public speaking skills and communication, primarily just overall confidence when presenting. I work in business development for a small company. We're based out of Williamsburg, Virginia, but I do a lot more presentations online these days and speaking in front of people. So just a little more practice, a little more comfort, that would go a long way. So, and I'll say this is my first Toastmasters as well. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Crystal, before we go to role introductions, I just want to give the guests a quick overview of how we work. So this is the agenda that we follow, and we have roles assigned to it. So we just started off with the introduction, guest greetings, our theme, and then we'll go into our roles. Today we have one speaker and one evaluator, and then after that we can do table topics, which is 1 to 2 minute improv responses, and then we do our reports at the end. For the people on Zoom, in the chat, I sent some links. There is a agenda link, so you can get this. There is a feedback form link, which during the speech, you can give feedback to our speaker, which is always helpful. And for the people in the room, like QR codes, if you want to scan, like the agenda is right here, speaker feedback is here, and other fun things. And for all the guests, please make sure you also sign in as well, and then an email with follow-up information. That's it. Crystal, take it away.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the agenda for today? Okay, then we'll proceed with the role introductions. I'm going to start with the grammarian and word of the day.
I will be the grammarian word of the day. My role is to listen for interesting words and phrases, write those down and report them at the end. The word of the day I selected is called refactory. I have it here, refactory. I'll put it in the chat. It is, the definition is resisting control or authority, stubborn, unmanageable. A sentence would be, as a outpatient clinic, Nick treats rear and refractory types of pain, usually associated with surgery or injury, such as chronic pain and complex regional pain syndrome. That was long and complex. But I encourage, especially during table topics, to use the word of the day, refractory. And if you do use the word of the day, I'll give you a snap. So, refractory, resisting control or authority, stubborn, unmanageable. And back to you.
Thank you. And all counter for today. Okay, please go ahead.
So I'll be counting the ahs, that's pretty much it, right? So those, all the filler words.
And you'll be reporting at the end of the meeting your results.
Yes.
Thank you. And do we have a timer?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Haley. Go ahead.
So I'll be the timer today. I will change my background. For table topics, we speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So I'll change my background to green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. And then I'll have a report at the end as well.
Thank you. And we have one speaker today. and one evaluator. We have Haley as a speaker, yes, and Nick is going to be Haley's evaluator. Nick, would you like to do the introduction of our speaker?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
We have the pleasure of hearing from Haley today. The name of her speech is 5 Lessons Learned from the Great British Baking Show. Something I haven't really watched, but I'm excited to hear her viewpoint. It's gonna be 5 to 7 minutes. Haley, I can time for you while you're doing it. Her goals for this speech is use more vocal variety, reduce superfluous ands, working on pacing and breathing, and have fun with it. Again, for the guests, if you want to take notes to give feedback for Haley, we're open to do that. But let's give a big round of applause to Haley and her 5 lessons learned from the Great British Baking Show.
Thank you, Nick. I'm gonna share my screen. I have a couple of slides, so let me know if this works. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me give you access to do that.
There we go. I got it. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So thank you, Nick, for the introduction. As you mentioned, I'm going to share today 5 lessons that I've learned from the Great British Baking Show. And this is one of my favorite shows that I've been watching recently. So I chose to talk about this because it's inspired me to cook more and bake more in my life and just approach challenges with more grace and positivity. So today I'll share a little bit of background and structure about the show, and then I'll get into the lessons that I've learned. So the show is an amateur baking competition, if you've never seen it before. It's based in the UK. It started in 2010, so there have been 12 seasons, and it is filmed here in this white tent that you can see on the right. So since it's outdoors, the weather can add some complications for the bakers, and that makes it a little interesting. There are 4 hosts, as you can see on the left. Prue and Paul in the middle are the 2 judges, and then there's Noel on the left and Matt on the right. They're hosts as well. They're comedians, so they add a little bit of lightness to the show, especially in the really tense moments when the bakers are stressed out. There are 12 bakers every season, and they're different every season. Since they're all amateur bakers, they have real full-time jobs, and baking is more of a serious hobby for them. They range in age from 19 to 70 years old, and they come from all over, but they live in the UK. The structure of the show, so it happens over the course of 10 weeks, and each week has 3 challenges. The first challenge is called the Signature Challenge, and they receive information on this beforehand so they can practice it. It's one of the more simple bakes. The second one is called the Technical, and this one is always a surprise. They never know what they're going to get each week in the Technical. Sometimes the instructions are very vague. They could just be bake, and they have no idea what temperature or how long it's supposed to be. So that is always a really interesting challenge. And the last one is called the Showstopper. This one, they get 4 to 5 hours to complete the bake, and it's where they add their personality and their flair, and it's one of the most fun ones. And they also get that information up front so they can prepare that in advance as well, or practice it before the competition. Here are a few examples of bakes that have come out of the show. The one on the right on the bottom is from a technical challenge. So the baker who completed this had no idea what he was getting into, and that's what he came up with. So they're very talented and very creative, and it's just fun to watch. And here is a snippet from the show. This is Noel, and he's comforting one of the bakers. So sometimes the hosts, Matt and Noel, are really funny and snarky, but sometimes they're actually very supportive and helpful for the bakers. So it's just nice to see that positive environment. So one of the first lessons I learned is to trust in yourself. And this comes up especially in the technical challenge when you don't know what you're getting into. But even in the other challenges, sometimes there are surprises and you just have to go with it. So you have to trust in yourself, trust your experience and your knowledge that you have, and just do your best with each day and each struggle that you have. And the second one is to keep going. And this applies especially when you fail. If you mess something up, you got to pick yourself back up and keep going forward. Especially in these challenges, they have a limited amount of time. So if they let the setback hold them back, then they're going to lose time. So you just need to keep moving forward. And again, trust in yourself, pick yourself back up and have a little confidence. And then the third one is to breathe. I thought of this one because there were two bakers who were very successful in the beginning of a couple of seasons. These were separate seasons, but they won the Star Baker for a few episodes in a row, but they either didn't make it to the final or they made it to the final and then they didn't win. And I think that was because they had so much pressure put on themselves and from others to be the best all the time. So they kind of cracked under the pressure. And the other bakers who made it, they were more surprised that they had made it that far, and they just had fun with getting that far, with being in the challenge. And I could see some bakers like breathe right before the challenge. So I think that's really important, to just make sure you're present in the moment and having fun with it. The fourth one, this relates to having fun with it, is to just do what you like. Nobody is going to like everything you do, and not everyone's going to like what you do. Everyone has different tastes and opinions. So even if your bake is wonderful, someone might not like it. So I think it's really important to just do what you like, and then you'll like it. And I think that will set you up for success. And the last one is to ask for help. Tim's not here today, but he said something a few weeks that stuck out to me, and it was that you can't master something by yourself. And I think this applies within the competitions and outside of the competitions. I really like this show because it's really positive, and even though people are competing with each other, they're also very friendly. And when someone is struggling, the other bakers will offer to help them out, or if they're struggling themselves, they'll ask for help. And outside of the show, after the challenges are over, they'll always call their family or friends, and their friends and family will provide a little bit of perspective and just help them move forward to the next week. And they'll always provide that support. So I think it's just important to be willing to offer to help and to ask for help when you need it. And here's one last quote. So as I said, I just really enjoyed this show. It's really inspired me, and I think it's really positive and has helped me get through challenges. I think if you take away anything from this, it's to just keep going, do your best, and try to have fun with it. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Haley. That was the end of the speech, right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We will now move to the table topics of the meeting.
Can we have
And-
a to do feedback?
I'm sorry?
Can we have a minute to do feedback?
To write a feedback on the speech? Okay, that's a good idea, Nick. So we can jot down the notes and write feedback on Haley's speech.
Sorry, where do we write the feedback?
I'll share the link again. Here. No, that's Haley's goals. Ignore that. Sending the link here. I just sent a link in the chat. It opens up a Google form. select Haley's name and her email. And then there's a text box area that you can give feedback to, and that will go directly to her when you submit it.
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, as you're wrapping it up, we are going to move into table topics of the meeting. So for the guests, it is a portion of the meeting where table topics master, today it will be me, will ask a question, sometimes same question for each member or different question. And it's an impromptu speech. Whereas the speakers, they prepare the speech before the meeting and present. So this portion of the meeting gives us an opportunity to practice impromptu speech. As you know, like Nancy mentioned, during our professional life, each day we have meetings and we have to give impromptu response to questions or, meetings, right? Responses. So hopefully this will give you practice to that. So I'm going to start with Nancy. You're the chosen one. Okay, so the very first set of questions we did the first round was, what would you tell your 6-year-old self about love? Now I'm going to progress to high school. Think back to high school, say you're a teenager. Now, what is love? What is love to a teenager self? So Nancy, go ahead.
I would say to my high school self that embrace exploration of everything that you have an interest in, and you will find and discover what you love and what you don't love quite as much. So it's more of being curious and allowing yourself to risk a little, and to always remember that it's see, this is the hard part of the talking. Okay.
You're great.
So it's not permanent. So you may feel something in a moment, but give yourself room and then you'll move through it and you'll have another experience that you can decide if you love it or not. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Nancy. You did great.
Oh my God.
So I want to also remind everyone during our impromptu speech, if you can remember to say the word of the day, and also Haley will be timing us. So green light, yellow light, red light. So as an indicator how long you have during your impromptu speech. So
How long is it supposed to be? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
green light is 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Green light is 1 minute, yellow is 1.5 minutes, and red is at 2 minutes. So anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Haley, since you have the spotlight, the question goes to you now. Now you have grown from 6-year to a teenager. What is love, if you could go back to tell yourself during high school?
Thank you, Crystal, for the question. I think in high school, I needed to learn the most about self-love, and just accepting myself more and knowing that I'm okay how I am. I think that would have taken me a long ways at that time. I think in general, I said earlier, love is an action, but I think love can also be an action towards yourself. You can show yourself that you care about yourself, you take care of yourself. And I kind of related to my speech, you're gonna trust yourself to get through hard times. So I think that's what I really needed to hear in high school. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Haley. I know from 6 to teenage years, 10 years of lifespan. So now the next question, who would like to go? Ellie?
Sure, I'll go. So I would tell my teenage self that whatever I feel that love is in the teenage years is not real, and it's not all the butterfly feelings. It's more deeper than that, and the definition will definitely change. But have fun with it while you're young. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to the room. Nick?
The question is, what would I tell my high school self about love? The person that you are in high school is going to grow into something even better. So if you don't feel like you can find a person in high school, you're not this awesome, attractive individual that everybody wants. In high school is not that time where through your 20s and 30s, you grow into this awesome person down the road that you will love even more. So take time to grow and love yourself, and who you are right now is not who you're gonna end up being down the road. I don't see a green screen, and love your family as well, because they're gonna be with you your whole life. So to reap the benefits of them, put in the love now so you can get love from them down the road. And that's the green screen. Thank you. And that was refactory painful. I think I can use that.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll give it a go.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'm Chris, and advice to my high school self about love. Let's see, I would describe it as just a feeling of, a connection that you might feel. Also use it like in a romantic sense with somebody else. I would say it's worth exploring and experiencing on your own and being open to it. It's very stubborn, can have a refractory hold on you. And but embrace it, know that, when your heart breaks, it doesn't break even. So when you enter a relationship with somebody and it ends, it's likely that, it's one of the two gonna get hurt. But you'll learn from that, grow from it, and continue to embrace it. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Who would like to go next? Jared? Okay, thank you.
Kind of multitask here.
I'll have your
What was the word of the day again?
refractory, resisting control or authority.
I would tell my high school self similar things that I would tell my elementary self, but maybe a little more seriously. I mean, I really wasn't out looking for love when I was in high school, but I would go back and tell myself just to accept myself and love myself, and that I'm gonna continue to grow and develop into the person that I'm truly gonna be. The person that I was in high school and the person that I am now are completely different. And if I could go back, I would just tell myself to relax a little, that it's gonna be okay and it all works out. And I think that would be it. Sorry, I don't know how to use that.
Thank you. And we have two more guests, and you're also welcome to join us in this impromptu part of the speech. Would you like to go? Hashita?
Yeah, just I can try. Yeah, thank you for giving me. For me personally, for the teenage love is physical attraction. For my it's my personal experience, but when you are getting matured, I think it's wrong intention. But for me, it's a physical attraction. But in that moment, we are very stubborn, as well as very energetic, as well as we are trying to do some new experience. I think with that, we are in the wrong direction. We are going in the wrong direction with this physical attractions. I think it's giving anyway. It's giving us a good experience for our lives. But all in all, my teenage love is physical attraction with my experience. Back to you.
Thank you. Okay, back to the room. Did we go, everyone? Did everyone go?
No.
Nora's gonna go.
Okay.
All right. My teenage phase was not my favorite phase of life. I was, very refractory phase of my life, but what I would tell to myself when I was in high school, what love is about. So I'm sorry to bring the mood down, but I grew up in a very abusive household. So I would tell myself two things. One, you are lovable. And two, you have all the love that you have all the love inside you that you can give yourself, that you need. But at the same time, I also believe that I don't necessarily believe 100% that you need to love yourself 100% first before you are able to be loved by others, because I think, if you delve into psychology, like, there's, attachment styles, like basically your relationship with parents dictate how your relationship with others. So I will also tell myself, besides loving myself, do the things that I love, also continue fostering friendships and, building community and doing all the things I'm passionate about. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Nick, how are we doing with time?
two more, since we only have one evaluator, we can do a couple more.
Okay, let's do that. I have a different question. And for this question, I like to ask volunteer. Anyone like to volunteer?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So far, what was the most memorable Valentine's Day gift that you have received?
Oh, really? I honestly can't think of any that I was just thinking off the top of my head. I would think, let's go back to just a couple days ago, my memory can at least remember that. It was spending time with my girlfriend. We got to go on a nice hike in the afternoon, then had pizza in the evening, and just the quality time that we got to spend. So I would say that was the best gift I've received.
Thank you. That sounds like one of the best Valentine's Day gift. Spending quality time together, and what better than going for a hike? It's healthy physically and mentally. I think it is the best by far. Okay.
We got the heart-shaped pizza from Domino's, the most romantic.
Details.
Wonderful. Okay. Anyone else like to volunteer? Okay, go for it. Okay. My question is, so Chris answered one of the best Valentine's gifts he received. And this one is one of the best Valentine gifts that you have given so far.
Oh. My memory doesn't go that far back, so I'm just gonna go with this week as well. So I decided to buy a $400 skincare set for myself, but I didn't open it. I left the packaging, so as a gift to myself. So I opened the gift on Valentine's Day. It was from a really nice box, so that made me feel really happy. And I played a really romantic song in the background. I don't know why, it was so good. And I also got roses for my roommates and a box of chocolates for them. So I felt good about that. Because it made them really happy, because both of them are males, and I don't think they've ever received flowers from anyone before. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Most important thing is, are you happy, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but if whatever the gift that you received or give created that sense of happiness and connection, I think makes the best, a good gift. So we still have about 12 minutes or so. Do you think we have a couple more rounds? Okay, sounds good. Okay, Nancy, would you like to go next?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for being open to do the impromptu speech. Okay, for Valentine's Day, what is your do you have any gift from previous years of Valentine's gift, and which one do you remember the most and value?
So in terms of Valentine's Day gifts, I would probably focus on the ones that I have given to others. And it's been with groups of friends who, when they have challenging situations in their life, I would try to do something special for Valentine's Day and make a special treat and take it to them or surprise them or have them invite them over. Because I just heard there was an second one. Sometimes it's easy to forget that everyone enjoys the fun of Valentine's Day. So I always try to do something to give to others, be it family, friends, just a little recognition and appreciation, because everyone loves to have that little sense of heart energy on the day to be able to last throughout the rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay. Nick?
Let's let Ellie go.
Okay, Ellie. Question.
Sorry, but
Yes. What is the most memorable Valentine's gift that you have received?
give me 1 second. A couple years ago, one of my exes gifted me an espresso machine for Valentine's, and it was very memorable because he knew that I love coffee, but just couldn't cough up the money to buy a fancy espresso machine. So I thought it was very thoughtful. And now, even though the ex is not around, the espresso machine is. So that was one of my most memorable gifts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. I think you shared that with us during your first or second visit to our meeting. Yes, I do remember that.
I have 2 good points to state. Ellie, I felt like he was trying to express himself.
Oh.
I agree.
Did you hear my joke?
We did. We did.
Oh, express. Oh, yes. Okay.
And the other follow-up joke was he's being really thoughtful.
That's a good one.
As you can tell, everyone, Nick is in the mood for some jokes to make up for earlier time because I didn't have a joke. Thank you. All right. So what do you think, Nick? Do we have time for another question or shall we move to the next phase of the meeting?
Let's move to the next phase.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to ask for reports from timer.
Let's do the evaluator.
Evaluator?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, evaluator of the speech. Yes, that would be you, Nick. Thank you. Go for it.
Well, Haley, great presentation. I don't think I've ever watched a full show of, I think there's a variety of different baking shows, and I know people are really into it. So love to see your passion and what you're interested in, and you definitely showed that in this speech, how passionate you are for the topic. You started off really great with a great overview of the speech, who's involved, what it's about, give examples of what they create as well. I loved the lessons learned part. You really gave a good overview of what you get from the show and gave great examples of those lessons learned within the show as well. Relating to your goals, you had great pace and seemed like you had fun with this topic as well, because it's something you are excited about. Some things I would recommend working on, going back to the lessons from the show, you mentioned the lessons relating to the show itself, but it would be great if those lessons you can relate to yourself as well. And so we can see how those lessons you've used in the show to your own personal life. Another thing I would recommend is that quote at the end. I would have wanted it on a separate slide to make it a little more impactful. I like the fact that you let us read it, but then I would have had you just read it out loud just to reinforce that quote again. And in terms of one of your goals was not to use the word "and" a lot. I think I counted a handful of times of you starting a sentence with the word "and." Just something to be aware of. If you can catch yourself and just pause and just start the sentence without the "and," that would fix that issue. Your one other challenge or goal was vocal variety. Something I would still challenge yourself working on. And to help with that, if you smile more, that would bring more vocal variety to your speech. I know you show your excitement and passion, but I think for me, like I notice when people talk and they smile, it brings out more energy and more variety. So something that I would recommend. But overall, I love the speech. I love the topic. It's fun to learn more about the show and things you can learn from the speech, from the show as well. And maybe I need to check it out. When you say so. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. So that was the evaluation of Haley's speech today. And the next is the reporters from Timer. Is Haley, would you like to share the report?
Yeah, thanks, Crystal. Nick, your first table topics, first and only, I guess, table topics was barely over a minute. And then your evaluation was 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Hasita, your table topics was 45 seconds. Nancy, your 2 table topics were 50 seconds and 59 seconds. Allie is not there. I'll come back. Oh, she's there. Yours are 25 and 30 seconds. Jared, yours was 44 seconds. And Chris, yours was 51 seconds and 22 seconds. Nor, yours were 1 minute and 11 seconds, and then 47 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Next, our all counter. Jared, would you like to give us a report, please?
Yes, all right, so starting with Nick, I counted 1 and 2 ums. With Crystal, I counted 2 ums and 3 uhs. With Haley, with your speech, I counted 4 ums. And for the and ums, I counted it twice. And then for the other one, it was 2 ums. Let's see, and then for Chris, I counted 1 1 you know, 2 uhs, 1 And for Nor, I counted 3 uhs and 2 and ums and 1 so I did not keep track of myself.
I had 2 ands.
Okay, thank you. And then for Ally, I counted 3 ums, and then Nancy 1 Then for Hazita, I didn't count any. And that is it. Did I skip anyone?
Thank you. Okay, the next report will be from Grammarian. Nick?
Sure. I put for our guests, we vote on best table topics, best speaker, best evaluator. Since there's only one speaker, we already know who's going to win evaluator and speaker. But for table topics, you can write down your votes here. Let me know. Great. And I'll collect those after my report. Grammarian report. See, some interesting phrases I heard, Chris. When your heart breaks, it doesn't break evenly.
Yeah, that came from a song.
That's pretty cool. Jared, grow into yourself, grow into the person I want to be. Nor, you're lovable. That was a cool phrase and a gift to myself. And Nancy, I like the phrase heart energy as well. I think the word of the day refractory was used by Chris once. And he did a great job. I try to use it, but I don't think I use it very well. So I'm not gonna count it. And that is my report. I can go into voting as well. Okay, can I have your votes, please? All right, here we go. Okay.
Okay. So for our awards, we have these coasters. So we'll start off with best evaluator, drum roll please. Goes to myself. I get a coaster. Let's go best speaker for today. Drum roll please. Goes to Haley. Haley, here's a coaster. Okay, and I saved the most important voting for last because we're all involved with it. So best table topics, drum roll please. It's a very close voting, but for some reason I won. All right, goes to me. I get another coaster as well. Collecting these things. So that's the reports for today. Anything else from you, Toastmaster?
No, I think we covered everything today, and because we missed a couple of people for the meeting today, we had to double duty. So I demonstrated to all of you what not to do. I didn't have some of the list of clear, in order, clear duties in order. So I'm so glad Nick was there to help me out. So yeah, that's it. And I'm so happy that we have visitors today and the speaker evaluator the whole meeting. Thank you all for participating.
Just for leadership announcements, I want to give a round of applause to our new members, Jared, Nora, and Allie. They're just joined this past week. We actually have Bob. He just signed up today, so we just got 4 new members over the past week, which is massive for us. So any of the new members, make sure you're meeting with Eric. He's going to give you like a 30-minute intro to all the different roles and the platforms. So follow up with him so he can teach you, and then we can get you on the schedule. And just to show the guests, we have a spreadsheet that we use to fill in roles and dates. So for people that are new, we want to get you on the schedule to do your first speech. But this is how we manage our club, and this was the agenda, as I mentioned. Please fill out the sign-in sheet for the guests if you haven't done that. Any questions, you can email me, contact me. Happy to answer anything. Any questions from anybody? We're good? All right, so we'll do this again next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good week.